My name's Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Oh, man. So I just finished my show prep early today. And, oh, boy, there's so much good news going on. I mean, there's the things that Trump is doing is just so incredible. And he dropped something on Truth Social that is causing terror through Washington and the fake news media establishment and from Democrats coast to coast in the United States. He posted, President Trump, he did some foreshadowing to this, okay? President Trump posted yesterday morning, you may have seen this on Truth Social. If you're one of my Patreon supporters, I think I put this picture up on Patreon. You know, the presidential portraits they have on the wall, right? They'll have like, you know, President Bush, President Clinton, President Bush, President Obama, President Trump, right? Well, Trump did that, but it showed Trump, it was Trump's official portrait. It said Trump first term, then the next portrait was an auto pen, and then the next portrait was his mugshot official portrait for the second term of Trump's. And that auto pen, he's been talking a lot about that auto pen, and Trump posted on Truth Social yesterday that Biden's pardons are not valid. That he didn't sign them. They were signed with the auto pen, and he didn't even know about them. Which means that the J6 committee, Fauci, and a whole bunch of others are open for prosecution. And that auto pen, that is, this is going to be an amazing thing because there's going to be a Pam Bondi Justice Department, Kash Patel, Dan Bongino investigation into it. And Dan Bongino starts work today as Deputy Director of the FBI. It doesn't require Senate approval, so he'll be on the job today. So it's time to start kicking down doors and arresting people. And this auto pen, I mean, who do you think had the auto pen? My guess would be, for the most part, Jill Biden, but I'm sure some others had access to use it. So he says that those and some of these pardons were for violent felons. I'm gonna open up the show at 6 with that, and I'm also making a vlog showing some of the things I do during the week. For those of you that are members to my channel, you'll get to see that. I just started it just now, right before this live stream, the vlog, because the week's just starting. So that's huge with the pardons, and so so that's what I'm going to lead with today. And there's two other major stories that I'm going to cover a lot because there's a lot to cover today, but the three biggest stories, there may be a fourth, but the first is the pardons, this thing with Trump. That's amazing. Second, Kash Patel has launched an investigation into Judge Merchan and his daughter's company, looking into the finances. That is huge, huge. Remember, she raised over $100 million, Judge Merchan's daughter, right, from Democrats. That's huge. And then another big story, I'm going to lead with the pardon story. The second one I go with will be this one. Laura Loomer identified the reporter who hit Trump in the face. And she's a Trump-hating liberal reporter who's very vocal about her Trump hatred. And I think that confirms that she hit him in the face on purpose. And I have no doubt in my mind. So those are three of the big stories I'm going to cover today. There's a whole bunch more, but those are three big ones, and they're all great. Yeah, Trump was pissed too. He should have been. Oh, I can't wait. And of course, I'll be taking your calls. If you're new to my channel, my name's Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Make sure that you subscribe. Oh, I got to go back into the house and get a jacket. So hold on, because I can't go to the coffee shop with a Trump shirt on. They might give me decaf. So hold on. I don't want to wake up my wife. But you know how these guys are. I know, isn't it crazy? I burned myself at the other coffee shops in town from live streaming there, so. I can't wear my ice jacket. Hold on. I think my jacket, I was going to wash it for the cruise. So where did I put it? Yep, it's right here. All right. I know it's terrible how liberals are, isn't it? It is terrible how liberals are. Oh. Oh boy. There you go. I guess I'll wash it. I took it out of the wash. I was going to wash this jacket for the cruise. I'll put it back in the laundry. Laura Loomer is awesome. I mean, she is fearless, and she's one of the best investigative reporters in history. She's amazing. I've known her for years. I first heard of her when she was covering the Vegas shooting. That's when I first heard of her. She was on Periscope then, which doesn't exist anymore. It was a live streaming app through Twitter. And then I got to know her. I've known her, I don't know, 6-7 years. Absolutely. That mic, that was a pretty dangerous thing she did. The kittens are doing great. They're sleeping. Pepsi is cuddled up with our cat Luna. Luna is their adoptive mother. I was, you know, it's interesting to watch the media. You know, one of the other things too, I did talk about this on my podcast over the weekend, but I want to talk about this space rescue and Mark Kelly. And I'm not going to get into what I'm going to talk about with that right now, but I'm going to cover that. There's a lot to cover. There's so much going on that I almost don't know where to begin. I was going to do a podcast yesterday, and this time change has me all messed up. I was doing a bunch of work around the house, and then next thing I knew, it was like 6:30 at night, and the sun was still out, and I thought it was like 3, 4. So I didn't do a podcast last night because it was too late. But I've got so much to cover because of that. Yeah, Laura Loomer's the best. You know, she is without fear. She really is. Yeah. And make sure you subscribe if you're new. So those are 3 of the biggest stories. There's many other stories to cover too, but the pardon story is huge. That's the lead story of the day. There's no doubt about it. No, it does not mean that, Regina. No. Katanji, no. Biden was out there with her, nominating her. That's different. Trump was talking about the pardons. They were signed with the auto pen, and Biden wasn't even aware of them. Well, now that Laura Loomer's identified the reporter as a hardcore liberal Trump hater who's very vocal about it, I think she did it on purpose. You know, she's just, you know, I'm trying to think of an example outside of Trump that everybody would get. But I can't think of a specific example that everybody would know. But in my personal life, I've known where people have been treated this way. Nobody's been treated as bad as Trump, but what I mean is that people hate someone so much, Nothing they do is right. No matter what they do, people are just going to laugh at it, criticize it, and everything else. And what happens when people get in these bubbles of hate, even not just Trump in general, when people get in these bubbles of hate, they lose touch with reality. And this Trump derangement syndrome circle in the media feeds upon itself because these media people are in a bubble of Trump hate. Everybody around them hates Trump and gets them worked up. And they do and say stupid things. And so when they do something like that reporter did with the microphone, they think it's okay to do. It's very difficult psychological dysfunction to understand. But working in broadcasting my whole life, I've known so many dysfunctional people in broadcasting that I just I just have seen it happen so many times. And that's just the way it is. And that reporter probably feels like she's a hero or a heroine for doing that. I've never seen something like that happen before. Who carries around a boom mic on their own with a big selfie stick like that? So, so that's, but what's interesting about the media is, media bias, when most people think of media bias, they think of an angle that a story is presented in. And that's certainly a form of media bias. But the biggest bias in the fake news media of all is what stories they choose not to cover, right? So, and these reporters, being a reporter covering the White House is really a crap job. I mean, they're some of the biggest lowlives. They don't do much. They sit around hours and hours every day doing nothing, twiddling their thumbs for a little moment once a day, every other day. It's a really crap job to have, people that cover presidents. It really is. Even someone like Ducey, who's like friends with Trump, they just sit around all day and do jack. Well, the president can declassify anything just by saying it. As an example, if Trump took the most classified documents from Area 51 or about the location of our missiles and just waved his hand and said they're declassified. It's an executive power. Or he could go on television and read them declassified. Well, the problem with the auto pin isn't that it was being used. It's that it was being used without the knowledge, permission, or authorization of the president. That's the problem with the auto pin. Yeah, it's an NPR reporter. I believe. I have to look over the story again. I'll look over the story before I go on the air. I did tweet it. By the way, follow me on X, Brian Craig USA. That's my new X, Brian Craig USA, all right? Brian Craig USA on X. Okay, make sure you follow me there. Most have Trump derangement syndrome, yeah. Absolutely they do. Mm-hmm. Well, but I'm going to lead with the pardon story for sure, because to me that's the biggest story of the day. That Trump's looking into that, and he said it. That's amazing. And with these haters in the media, understand is when Trump says something like this about the auto pin and the pardons of Biden not being valid, this isn't just something that some guy just said. He's the sitting president of the United States who has access to all kinds of information. So when he says something like that, that's a very informed comment. It's not just some guy saying something, right? Wow, I'm seeing a lot of lightning. I hope it rains. I was going to water my bushes while I was live streaming like I did yesterday, but there's so much lightning. I was like, I don't know if it's a good idea. Although, if I got struck by lightning, would I go viral? I don't know. It'd probably short out the phone. Would it be worth it? I don't think so. It has not crashed. Crashed is what happened in 1929. There's been no crash. It's not that the auto pen is not the problem. It's that people were using the auto pen without the knowledge, permission, or authorization of the president, and they were signing pardons and other documents. That's the problem. That's forging, which is a crime. You're signing very important legal documents without permission or authorization. No, I'm not speculating. Trump said it, and Trump's the president. He knows. So he has information that he knows this is true. That's the way it is. Now, if you're new, make sure you subscribe, okay, to the channel. This is most definitely where MAGA comes to talk. Oh, no, Trump's amazing. You know, for him to pick up on this auto pen thing, that's big. Big, big, big. It's like signing someone else's checks or any legal document. It's identity theft, is what it is, isn't it? If you sign legal documents for someone without their knowledge, what is that? Like if signing a pardon's a pretty big deal, so what else were they signing, right? Military strike orders? Who knows? They've killed people, committed murder. But if you signed, like say you got a loan, and you sign someone's name to that loan, what would that crime be? Because that's the most common thing I could think of that would be the equivalent in like that regular people could have an encounter with. That's a pretty serious crime. Don't you go to prison for that? Like if you went out and got a loan from the bank and you signed someone else's name to get that loan fraudulently, that's hardcore. People go to prison for that. Yeah, forgery. It's got to be some other crimes too. Forgery, pretty serious crime. Well, I don't know how many documents the president himself actually has to sign every day. But on executive orders, military orders, and pardons, there should be no auto pens allowed, that's for sure. But we all know that someone else was using the auto pen. I would like Trump to show the auto pen and how it works on television, wouldn't you? Oh, it's also elder abuse. Here in Florida, elder abuse is serious crime, man, because we have the oldest population in the country. One of my neighbors walks every morning at this hour. I guess he does his walk. A lot of people in Florida that are walkers and runners do it early in the morning because it's starting to get hot. It's already 77 degrees, 78 degrees. It's elder abuse. It's fraud. It's forgery. But some of these were, to hardcore, like convicted felons. So if you forge using the auto pen without the president's knowledge is forgery, right? So if you sign an auto pen on a criminal, are you not an accessory to that crime? Like the J6 committee members that got their pardons. Are you not an accessory to their crimes if you help them get away with it? What would you think? I'm not sure. I'm not a criminal, or a lawyer. So, but it seems like some hardcore crimes have been committed. And I promise you, there's a lot of panicked people in Washington today. Democrats nationwide in a panic. It's got to be an accessory crime on top of fraud and whatever else. Yeah, a lot of lightning. That's why I said I was going to water the bushes this morning like I did yesterday morning, but I saw so much lightning around my house and it's getting closer that I'm like, I don't think I should be out there. Mm-hmm. Well, see, Trump has access to the logs of when the pen was used, and they also have records of all the phone communications with Biden. So they could do some investigating. Aiding and abetting. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's all kinds of crimes. Yeah, the lightning is getting closer. You know, I've been telling you guys this about the Epstein, like President Trump did an interview over the weekend. They asked about the Epstein and Kennedy and Martin Luther King files. There's nothing in those files that's going to change anything. Anything that was juicy, they've taken out to blackmail the people. So there's not much in those files. And so far as the Kennedy assassination, people don't make records and put in files. They're criminal conspiracies to do that. So I think too much is made of these files. I just don't think there's much in them. With the Epstein files, there's like Kennedy's a long time ago. But what's going on now, with the Epstein files, when they got Epstein and everything, too many of the people involved still were in authority. So if there were anything in those files, it was either destroyed or put in the FBI blackmail J. Edgar Hoover files. That's it. I mean, so I don't, I think people are making a mistake putting so much into those files because you're just going to be disappointed and you're going to disappoint everyone. I mean, it's just, Well, I hope it rains like crazy at my house. My trees and bushes need the rain. I mean, we're really kind of in a drought here in Florida right now. It'll start raining soon. This time of year, it starts raining. This week, next week, it starts raining. Definitely need it. So I'm going to lead with the pardon story today, though, for sure. And then the microphone story and the Kash Patel investigation, which is beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, maybe I'll show you guys Epstein's house sometime. I did a YouTube video a few years ago where I went by Epstein's house and in Palm Beach, and I just felt evil on that street. It was so creepy. I was on my it was on the original MAGA scooter out in front of the house, and it was just so eerie and so creepy and just ugh. It's a very normal street in a very expensive neighborhood. But in those neighborhoods, I've got to take the MAGA scooter because in these uber rich neighborhoods, you can't park. You can't pull over on the side of the road. There's no sidewalks because they don't want people parking and things in front of these mansions. In Palm Beach Island, the real estate is so expensive that, a little piece of real estate like this is like worth millions of dollars. So I can only get to those places on the MAGA scooter. But maybe I'll do that. We're 12 days away from our listener cruise. So those of you going on the cruise, make sure you check in with Ian. Oh, man, I can't wait. I'm going to pack this weekend. I tried on some of my clothes. I couldn't believe. I thought I was going to have to buy some new shorts. I tried them on yesterday, and they fit, like, perfectly. I've lost so much weight from this diet I'm on. Yeah, I'll cover that story, too, of the new polls. The Democrats are, like, 7%. What number are they at now? The Democrats are done, and they don't know, they don't have the ability to understand why they're done, why they've lost so much support. They won't even admit that and make changes. Let me put the seatbelt on so I can. Gotta leave here. Hold on. This is our second week with this time change, and I don't like it. I like it getting darker earlier. What do you guys like? Because you got to wind down at night and go to bed. Now, I go to bed earlier than most. The whole country's been red-pilled. There's no getting around that. Red-pilled America. Red-pilled nation. You know, and here's the thing with Mark Kelly. Mark Kelly got rid of his the astronaut, right? He got rid of his Tesla and bought a big gas guzzler. And I'm going to talk about that. I'm not going to tell you what I want to say about it, because there's a few things about that idiot Kelly that have to be discussed. All right. Now, this one guy, dark MAGA mode engaged, is walking as he does every morning, and for some reason he does not walk on the sidewalk. He walks in the street at 5 in the morning. So I got to be very careful here. Hold on. Drives me nuts. Very dangerous. Walk on the sidewalk, dude. And you never know where he's at in the development. All right. Put the brights on. All right. Dark MAGA mode engaged. Well, I'm really looking forward to Trump's auto pen investigation. They could do an internal White House investigation on that. I'd love to see what that turns up. That's the best. It's the best. You don't think those J6 people are nervous? Oh, believe me, they're nervous. Fauci's not. He's so full of himself. He thinks he walks on water. But I promise you the J6 people are nervous, as are the people that worked for him. And a lot of these violent felons and other criminals that were pardoned with the auto pen, they're probably nervous too. Oh, is my pardon valid? Is it going to be revoked? I got to tell you, France, anyone in France in here? Got to be one of the most screwed up countries. I was reading a story this morning that, I don't know how many years it's been, 8 or 9 years ago, when those guys broke into Kim Kardashian's apartment or hotel room, whatever it was, in Paris and ripped her off. They're just coming to trial. And they got a lot of details. They bound and gagged her and put her in the bathroom. And they didn't assault her, which is surprising. But they're really old guys. They're in their 70s, some of them, 60s and 70s. And one of the guys that was involved in it wrote a book, I Kidnapped Kim Kardashian. And I saw a picture of him holding the book. I mean, what is, everyone says, on the left, oh, Europe, Europe, Europe. Guy's got a damn book out detailing his role in that very, very violent crime. It really puts in proper perspective the rest of the world. There was some troll in the live stream chat yesterday, and they said the world is laughing at the United States. And I told them, and some of you may have been watching when I said this. I said America does not give a shit what the rest of the world thinks about us or what we do. And I think they were surprised to hear that. These people around the world, they think that the United States and Americans care what they think. And that's just not the case. Care. Yeah, the world needs to change its diaper. Yeah. And you just see Zelensky, President Trump's going to be speaking with Putin directly this week about ending the war in Ukraine. And Zelensky's out there saying that they'll sign the ceasefire and all, but they need to get more money. They got enough money. They're not getting any more money. Ukraine has enough money. They're out of their freaking minds in Ukraine. Zelensky is just a creep. I was, I'm not going to watch this movie because it looks a bit, but I saw on Apple, I was looking for a movie to watch over the weekend, and go on the recommendations, and it on Apple TV, and it showed that movie that the girl won the Oscar for. And I watched the trailer and read the description. First off, they give Oscars to people that can't act now. But now I know why that movie was such a hit. It's about, I guess she's a prostitute who marries the son of a Russian oligarch. These liberals are just so obsessed with Russian oligarchs. They're just obsessed. That's why she got the Oscar. They're obsessed with prostitutes in Russia. I wish that the coffee shop opened up at 5 a.m. It would make things a lot easier for me. This 5:30 is just too much. Oh, I gotta put my I got to put my undercover clothes on. Hold on, guys. Okay. I can't let them know that I'm MAGA, or they'll give me decaf. So all the other coffee shops in town, that because I've been going there live streaming on YouTube on them, in my MAGA hat, they got me figured out. And every time I get coffee, it doesn't wake me up. I can tell it's either decaf or they don't put the espresso shots in it. Why isn't Trump building the border wall? Well, I'm glad you asked. If you go to my X feed right now, right at the top of my X feed, Brian Craig USA on X, Brian Craig USA, Christy Nome is standing at the border wall, the Great Wall of Trump, at the end of the wall, and she talks about how they're immediately starting construction, filling in that open area. So they are building a wall. Give him time. He's been president a couple months, these people. It's amazing how all of a sudden they want immediate results from government. So, fortunately, it doesn't translate, so you got to write in English, all right? Because who knows what you're saying? Your name's in English, so you can write in English. You're watching me speak in English. See, this is just some guy. America losing respect. Who are we losing the respect from? We don't care about these other countries and what they think. We just don't care. You know, we just don't care. We don't care what the world thinks, man. In America, I was talking about this like 5 minutes ago. In the United States, we don't give a shit what the rest of the world thinks about us and what we do. We don't care. We just don't. The only people that care are left-wing people that are out of power. I think it comes really, here, because I'm on, it's 5:19 a.m. here on, I call it Mar-a-Lago time, the East Coast, Mar-a-Lago time. There's a lot of people in Europe and throughout the world that are, watching the stream this hour of the morning because of the time change, right? It's late in the morning, afternoons, wherever they are. So a lot of the trolls are from other countries because of the time. And I think they're all shocked that the United States, we don't care what any of these other countries think. We just care about our own country and what our own people think. It's noon. Where are you, David? Where it's noontime. America first. That's right, Jeff from Maine. How you been, Jeff? They'll just never, they'll never understand that Americans don't care what the rest of the world thinks about anything. We are the pillar of freedom and goodness. That's right. It's the greatest, most powerful country in the world. We're the most powerful militarily and economically. We got it all. It's amazing. We're very lucky to live here. Can you imagine what it's like to live in one of these other countries that's not number one? Oh, my goodness. We're so lucky to live in the best country, the number one country, and everything that matters. Please, Kenneth, final warning, English only. I don't know what you're writing, okay? We went to the moon many times. That's right. That's right. I'm excited for this rescue mission from the space station to return home. When are they are they leaving today or tomorrow? When are they leaving the space station with the rescued astronauts that Elon's rescuing? Is this an ambulance or a police car? It looks like an ambulance. Well, they're coming to this shopping center. Are they at the intersection near me? Well, they pulled into a residential neighborhood. Domestic. Yeah, how you been, Jeff? Haven't seen you around as much lately. Well, you know, things happen. Life, you know. It's a rescue. It's a rescue. They've been stranded up there for almost a year. It's a rescue. And the female astronaut, she does not look... They're leaving Wednesday? Okay. It is a rescue mission. You know, the media don't want to call it a rescue mission. It's the first rescue mission ever in space. And they don't want to call it that because Elon. They don't want to give MAGA credit for anything. That's why. That's pretty amazing. The first rescue in space. Biden failed the astronauts. Elon wanted to go up and get them a long time ago, and Biden wouldn't authorize it. He just can't launch rockets. You know, he's under contract for NASA. He has to have permission from the U.S. government to do that. It's amazing. It is most definitely a rescue. Most definitely a rescue. They could have, but they didn't. No, because Biden didn't want MAGA to get good press. That's what a evil person Biden is. He would leave people stranded in outer space. Just out of his Trump derangement syndrome. Just evil. Well, listen, guys, I'm going to run, but I'll be live soon. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. And everyone else, please like the video, all right? My name's Brian. This